Everyone has preferences when it comes to writing. Where do you fall on this scale of writing? Take a sheet of paper and write down the number from this scale that best describes you. Next, estimate how much time you think you'll be spending writing in this project. Today, we are going to learn some strategies to ensure success in collaborative writing projects for this class. We will begin by looking at some of the common pitfalls and benefits of writing in teams. Then I will provide you with recommended strategies for successful collaborative writing. At the end of this lesson, you will have the opportunity to draft a timeline of the writing process with your groupmates. You're all probably familiar with the steps for writing individually. First, you generate ideas and do research. Then you start a draft. Some people start out by creating a bulleted list of main points, while some just start writing. Then you'll review the draft to check for flow, if you've missed any important points. Then you'll do a final proofread and print the report. The team writing process is similar, but as you may expect, there are more steps involved. We'll talk about each of these steps in detail, but first, let's look at some pitfalls in group writing. Just being aware of some potential pitfalls can help you avoid them. A universal problem in any group project is finding a good time and place for everyone to meet. Another, as you can see from this comic, is inefficiency in meetings. For many of you, it will take time to gel with your group. Certainly, socialization time will help, but keep your main goal in mind for your meeting. Another pitfall is differing levels of participation, and this can be due to different reasons, such as a person's level of comfort with sharing their ideas. Group work while you're in college is a great way to practice what you will really have to do when you're out in the workplace. Let's look at some advantages of collaborative writing. You'll gain multiple perspectives in your topic, benefit from other people's expertise. This is the reason much of the writing done in the business context is collaborative. Another plus is the division of labor. You'll have multiple proofreaders. The graphic below shows the range of strategies used in collaborative writing groups, ranging from meeting together to write all of the text, to having one primary writer for the group. For your class projects, it will be somewhere in the middle, where you'll take sections and write them individually or perhaps in pairs. One of the biggest questions in collaborative writing is the logistics. You will create a much better product if you spend time at the beginning to plan your research and include enough time for several revisions based on team reviews. The next few slides will take you through the best practice process from the How Writing Center and other resources. If you can build all these steps into your process, great. You may find that you may need to make some slight modifications to suit your group's needs. Let's start with the first step. During your first meeting, you will brainstorm possible subtopics or research questions, some strategies, and other information sources for your project. Groups will assign subtopics or resources to individual members for further research and then agree on the next meeting date, keeping in mind your presentation date. Next, you'll conduct research individually. The second step is drafting. After you do your individual research, group members will meet in person to discuss the research findings. Each member should report highlights of the information they found because this may affect what another person writes. The group as a whole should evaluate the quality of the information, its reliability, objectivity, applicability to the topic, gaps, and so on. Then, your first actual collaborative writing task, draft a topic outline. This can take many forms such as phrases, question form, or a sentence outline. Create a topic outline, but don't worry about the overview or conclusions at this point. Assign subtopics to each person depending on the order and breakdown of your outline. Members may need to switch topics from their original research. Discuss and agree on the writing conventions, the tools, media, and style that you will use. Agree on a deadline for sharing drafted sections. The revise phase will start with smaller steps. First, you will exchange draft sections with a partner for peer review. Each member will review another person's completed section in terms of content and substance, not yet grammar, and taking the view of the audience. Each member will revise his or her own section based on this feedback, resulting in a second section draft. All the section drafts will be combined into draft 1, which each team member will read in preparation for a meeting. After everyone has read the first full draft of the paper, groups can meet to discuss the paper section by section, focusing on content, organization, and cohesion, not yet on the proofreading aspects of grammar and punctuation. Decide on any non-essential content that can be removed, and discuss the main points for the executive summary and the conclusion. You can assign the strongest writers in the group to draft these two sections. After this, members can revise and review their section based on feedback during the meeting and from visiting the writing specialist, which you can do at any time during this stage. After you have revised the sections based on feedback from the meeting and from the writing specialist, each member can take a section of the second draft, not your own, to proofread and edit for grammar, usage, spelling, and punctuation. A useful technique at this point is to read the draft aloud, paying special attention to problem patterns identified by the writing specialist. An assigned group member prints the completed report. This person should check for formatting issues that may have been introduced in the final editing process. Check the printed copy for completeness and any other possible print issues such as low toner, causing the document to appear unprofessional or hard to read. Now that you know the steps to take when writing with a team, let's do some planning. A Gantt chart is a helpful tool when planning a group project. Some variation of this chart is commonly used by project managers in the real world. It is a spreadsheet that gives you a visual representation of project steps and deadlines, as well as who is responsible for which part of the project. Now, I'd like you to sit down with your group and start the planning process by putting some information into the chart, which will become your roadmap for your group project. Let me know at any time if you need help or clarification.